Steve was going to join us in person, but had some airplane issues. Maybe some things, Steve, you want to take up with the outgoing transportation secretary? Thank you, Steve, for being here. We appreciate it.
Dasha, thanks, and thanks for Politico for having me.
Let's start with some of the headlines that you've been making recently. There's a new voice in President Trump's ear, Elon Musk. You're not happy about it. Is President Trump too close to Musk?
I did, just to be, it's not that I'm not happy about it. I mean, Elon Musk, and I think I'm the first one that really built the narrative. He came in basically in the spring and early summer, and most importantly, he backed our play, which was this was going to be a MAGA plus election, a base plus these dissident moms at the school boards. And people have been trying to moderate President Trump even on the campaign trail. So number one, Elon Musk came in and totally backed kind of the populist, MAGA play. He then wrote $250 million worth of checks to back that play, not to put in TV advertising, which is extraordinary. That's not over a whole cycle. That's in 5 months. And I've said from the beginning, both in the United States, he deserves a place at the table. And in Europe, I've said, and I think Politico has covered it pretty well, is that, he holds the two tactical nuclear weapons of modern politics, which is unlimited cash and a social media platform that's not just ubiquitous, but also he can deem who's heard and who's not heard. And there's not many governments in Europe that are going to withstand that. That being said, in Politico today, the piece by Messerly and Wren, I think lay it out the best. This is a new coalition, much broader than 16. This is the beginning, I think, of a 1932 FDR-type realignment in American politics. And clearly, you're going to have members of that coalition that don't agree on everything. I do fundamentally disagree with some of the basics of the Mark Andreessen, Zuckerberg, Elon Musk, Peter Thiel outlook, philosophy of life and philosophy of politics. And there's going to be clashes. But I think the Politico article today is the best at summing it up. President Trump is good, particularly about people arguing, ideas, and the best idea and the best policy wins. So going forward, it's going to be quite intense. I actually think that we're winning this round, and we're winning this round pretty big. He's already backed off the H-1B visas. He's already said they got to be reformed. We say they have to be done away with. I think we'll get Elon there. And as soon as I can turn Elon Musk from a techno-feudalist to a populist nationalist, we'll start making real progress.
If you can't turn him, do you want him out?
You can't turn. Look, the bottom line, he's not going to be totally out. I mean, there's reporting today that he is going to have some access, I think, to the EOB, maybe an office over there, particularly with Doge. So he's not going to be out. Look, when you write $250 million worth of checks, when you've got, when you're that involved, when you have actually backed a ground game, you're going to have a seat at the table. I've always argued it can't be at the head of the table, and that table shouldn't be the cabinet room in the West Wing. So I'm a realist, and I've had this fight before. People, I think some folks remember back in 2017, Elon and I went back and forth virtually every day about the EV tax credits. Which I told him at the time, I said, people making $32,000 a year are not going to underwrite you and these venture capitalists on a company that could be worth billions and billions of dollars, maybe hundreds of billions of dollars. That was Tesla, and I won that round. So I've gone with Elon before. We're going to go at it again. Elon's not going to go away because he's got, like I say, he's got the two tactical nuclear weapons.
But do you think he has too much
modern politics, and he will use those tactical nuclear weapons?
Do you think he has too much influence right now? I mean, he's been posted up at Mar-a-Lago. He's been in Trump's ear nonstop since the election.
As a teacher in Harvard Business School, kind of in the first year, there's power and there's influence. What's shocking to me is he doesn't have much power.
Why do you say that?
Because he doesn't have the ability to actually make decisions and inform those decisions and drive those decisions. If you look at even the time at Mar-a-Lago, he's come in, definitely had some influence, and he's had some influence on picks, but let's go back over that. He was adamant about Howard Lutnick being Secretary of the Treasury, actually trashed Scott Bessent. Last time I looked, Scott Bessent's hearing, I think, is on Thursday or Friday for Secretary of the Treasury. You know, many of the picks that he wanted didn't come to pass. Some of the picks did, right? So he's had some influence. He's had some influence over policy. None of that's really stuck yet as hard policy. Like, for instance, the HB1 visas, the whole issue of you know, the business community, particularly the tech community, essentially importing indentured servants to take jobs of American citizens. He's had some influence so far, but he hasn't. Those policies haven't stuck. It's going to be a constant. It's going to be a constant fight and a constant clash of ideas. And if I, you know, I would go long the populist nationalist positions on these. You know, the hardcore American citizens come first, America comes first. So Elon's not going to go away, and quite frankly, he shouldn't go away. I mean, you know, I've been quite intense, and part of that is to try to shift the Overton window on this debate, but Elon's not going to go away and anytime soon, and there's going to be a continual clash and a continual fight over ideas.
How do you have that fight and how do you have that clash? For those of us that don't know the inner workings behind the scenes, does that play out in public with you know, sort of trashing him in interviews or criticizing him on your podcast? Or are there conversations behind the scenes that are happening that we don't know about?
You know, it still kind of shocks me that the political press, it hasn't really spent the time both on populist policies and or even President Trump. President Trump, to me, is a McLuhan-esque figure. And what I mean by that, he deeply believes at a very deep level Marshall McLuhan's ideas and concepts about mass communications. President Trump is about how do you connect with a mass audience and how do you connect your ideas with a mass audience and also how you read the room from a mass audience. That to me explains his popularity, that he's kind of hardwired in to the zeitgeist of working and middle-class people in this country and where they are. And I think a lot of that is coming from his Queens background, not his Manhattan background. So the best way I have found to ever fight for ideas is to do it very publicly and to do it using media. And I think this is the reason that War Room has been such a powerful platform.